Welcome to another episode of RABITT Makes Beats. Last week I didn't upload an episode, so this week I'm gonna upload an episode, and here we are in the episode. Instead of making a random beat this week, I'm gonna show you a real life example so that you know you can do it too. Anybody could do this. I hope this inspires you to try out producing. It's fun. It's how I produced, called Paradise by Eric Gnome. This is the original piano riff that I played, recorded on an iPhone. Apple, please sponsor me. Here we go, turn it into this. So let's warp the piano sample in time. Compress and sidechain it to a silent kick. I like to sidechain my things to a muted kick track. C screen, for example. I then cut out the low end. Put a bandpass filter with Filter Freak. Cut out somewhere in the middle, maybe 500 for the vocals. Then I compressed it. That's the piano done. I then played the chords with a Rode. Pitch it up 2 octaves. Cut out the low end. Compress and sidechain it. Add some of that air. That was a reverb reference. Put a gate on it so it glitches a little bit. If you're wondering what a gate does, look it up. Then I slapped on some distortion so your neighbors know what up. Then I got a what from Splice. Also, please sponsor me. What? Warp and pitch it down. What? Add some reverb. What? Distort it. What? And cut out the low end. What? I then recorded a bass sound using a synth. Warped it and pitched it up. Cut out only the first note. Compress it. Reverb. Cut out the low end. So smart. Let's get some percussion going. Obviously cut out the low end. Add a hat. Obviously cut out the low end. Add a shaker. Say it with me. Cut out the low end. Now let's add a snare. Put some reverb. Distortion. Cut out the low end. And then more distortion. Now for the little fill at the beginning, here's some toms. Cut out the low end. Add some reverb. Add another tom. Do exactly the same thing as every other thing. And then do the thing that I do with all the other things. Cut out the low end and add reverb. And then add a tambourine. You're like, does this guy do the same thing with everything? Yeah. Cut out the low end, put some reverb, add distortion. One trick pony, baby! Add some hats in the fill. Cut out the low end. And then bit crush it with Redux. Now layer it with some reggaeton snare. Also from Splice. And then we're gonna add the RABITT special, cut out low end, distortion, compress. And then we're gonna layer another snare on top of it. Then I added some hi-hat sprinkles. Cut that shit out! And before the post-chorus, I added a record stop sound from Splice. There's nothing wrong with using Splice. You just gotta cut out the low end. Add one more hat here. Low end, distort. Nobody can even hear this. Now we're gonna breeze past these because it's all the same thing. It's just more percussion and all the processing is the same. Just cut out the low end, add some distortion here and there, maybe some reverb. Who knows? Maybe compress it if you're feeling crazy.
Breezing past this. I then added some ghost snares. Just assume at this point, everything does not have low end, except for the bass. I then recorded a breath, pitched it up, distort it again, EQ out everything but the top, and then compress it, sounding like this. Now we throw in the booty bouncer, the kick. But don't forget to cut out the low end. If you listen to the song, you'll hear that at this part I use the strings to imitate the vocals. Throw in that RABITT special, reverb, cut away the low end, distortion, compress, bit crush. And then for the post-chorus, I recorded a counter melody on the piano. I compressed and sidechained it to the kick, cut out the low end, bandpass, compress, cut out the low end again. I then doubled that melody with a synth. Process the synth, basically the same way, compress and sidechain, cut out the low end, add some chorus, oh, different, and then add more compression. And then I layered that synth with another synth that's more scattered. Again, compress, sidechain, but this time with the chorus, move that little thing to modulate it. Here's what it sounds like soloed. Together. I mean, can anybody really hear that? Probably not, but I still did it. I wanted to add a swoop up on the downbeat, so I turned the synth melody, pitched it down, used the transpose function to slide up, and then cut out just the first beat, and then distort it, compress and sidechain, and then cut out the low end.
Now we're gonna add some bass.
I used CS80, part of the Arturia pack. I then compressed and sidechained it to the kick. Cut out the low end. But for the first half of the chorus, I wanted the bass to slide down. I then layered it with a distorted bass.
Cut out the low end.
At the 808, don't cut out the low end on this. Don't. Just leave it. This is an insanely long video for me. So before I bore you to death, we're reaching the end, I promise. I got a reverse sound, pitch it down, add distortion, cut out the low end, double it with an octave, and then you're done.